Hi, it's Steve Huff from Huff Motorsports. Hey, I want to say thanks to Tucker Powersports for being down here with us and coming to listen to the story about the Huff Motorsports Destination Harley-Davidson XBRR. And we're here at the World of Speed in Wilsonville, Oregon for Harley-Davidson, America's Motorcycle. It's an exhibit that's going on this year, talking about primarily Harleys and their 100+ years of history, and a lot of it that has to do with racing. That's why it's a motorsports museum. Back to the bike. This started life as a factory road racer, and it's a far cry from it now. This is an XBRR factory road racer built in 2007 by Eric Buell before his departure from Harley-Davidson. The bikes ran in AMA, 600 Super Sport, and Formula Extreme, and they're fairly competitive road race bikes. It has an 80 cubic inch motor, 1,349 cc's, produces 160 base horsepower when we're squeezing it hard. Then sometimes I'll put another 5-pound bottle of nitrous back in here and really lay the juice to it. This is the only 80 cubic inch bike in history to have gone over 200 miles per hour, and we did that at the Mojave Air and Spaceport on a 1.5 mile course where they land spaceships. So we had plenty of room, and we just got going on it. Back to how it started, we added this fairing and changed the front end geometry by machining eccentrics in it. You'll see different brake levers and clutch levers throughout the bike. An air shifter button, there is a nitrous button on the other side. This one's the clutch, this one is the rear brake, the one on the right side is the front brake. When we're racing at Bonneville, we usually take the front brake off, but on these shorter courses where we have short shutdowns, we have to have that front brake going well over 200. We made the bodywork from here back. We've changed the windscreen. We took this bike to Bonneville really for a photo shoot in factory trim and road race trim. It still had the slicks on it. It had never been run. Nobody had seen one. They were considered a myth. And it didn't look like this. It was right out of the box. And we set 3 records that day when we pulled it out of the trailer, and I decided to put some body work on it and see if we could possibly make an 80 cubic inch pushrod bike go 200 at Bonneville. And it was a tough challenge to make a 200 mile an hour 80 inch bike. There's some cuts in places where we can change different classes. We incorporated some new design things that we found at the University of Washington wind tunnel, and trying to keep our low pressure area in the back to a minimum. We've done wind tunnel testing, we've done dyno testing, and a lot of real world practical things. Companies, like Tucker Powersports, I have a Voyager display and dashboard, same one I put on my dirt bikes. So we utilize things like that, and we can buy different levers and make different modifications to motorcycles, not just Harleys, but everything. We got to combine a bunch of worlds. When we start here at a museum like this, we start seeing the diversity of motorcycles and how they're raced. This one's for land speed racing, this one's for flat track racing. This is one of my old competitors, Steve Dorn's top fuel bikes behind us. I mean, that bike's going 220 miles an hour in 6 seconds on a drag strip. But it's making 1,000 horsepower and running on nitromethane. Things like, I raced those for a long time. He was a competitor of mine. So this bike has set records at El Mirage, at Bonneville, and at Mojave, the 3 kind of big places where land speed records are set. One of the records has actually been retired by the AMA because they felt it was no longer, it would never be beat. So it actually has an asterisk next to it, and I'm pretty proud to have that. Like in the Powersports catalogs, we've got Olin suspension and magnesium stuff and just everything that can make a bike cool, and we enjoy doing that when we're building these things at my shop. We don't do things this extreme for customers, but this has brought me a lot of racing customers and people that care about performance, and they want to go out and be competitive. And that's what we do at my shop. We figure out a new way to do it and try and find some parts. A quick story about this pad on the seat. So I set a record like this one year on gasoline only. I think we ran 186 or something, and I was disqualified because of this little dip in the seat. They said that they couldn't completely see the side of my body. So we went back to the pit and made this out of some duct tape and an old knee pad. And we put that on. And then we went back out and we ran like 188 miles per hour and qualified. The rules in this type of land speed racing, this is called an APS class, altered partial streamliner. You must see the complete rider from the side and the top. So that's why we have these leg cutouts. Our legs fit in here. In fact, one year I was racing in a cast, and we had to go back to the University of Washington wind tunnel and enlarge the leg pocket on the right side of the bike for my broken leg. And we set a record that year too. So we have a lot of fun with it. If you can't have fun, that's kind of the big part of our sport. Everybody that's involved with it is having fun. And if you can't have fun with it, you're not going to last. So you got to take the ups and the downs. We have a lot of broken parts that are in a display case over here, and those come with the territory. And as we break things, we can pick up the phone and call and get some new ones. It's passion, I guess, that drives all of these people and any form of motorcycling that they're doing. And I've found that the people that do it are just really passionate about it. We look today at where the future of our sports lie, whether we're dirt bike riding or racing street bikes, or we're at a drag strip racing top fuel bikes. There's a blending together, and I'm watching the motorcycle community come back together as one, not just brand specific, just because they ride a Harley or just because they ride a Honda or just on a BMW. We're watching all of these guys come back together and see different things. Eric Buell was a great designer. I'm sure that his next bike is going to be even better than his last, and his last bike was pretty awesome. Having the opportunity to work with people like this, and Jim McClure, 19-time world champion, he was a mentor of mine, and Alan Sputh, and these great names in motorcycles, in motorcycle racing history. And I'm fortunate enough to call most of those guys great friends and fantastic teachers. Without them, I could go no place. Places like this at the World of Speed, they really care about education. They bring in a lot of local high schools that have shop programs through here. So please come on into the World of Speed if you're around the Oregon, Portland area. It's 10 minutes south of Portland. You can come in here and check this stuff out. This will be on display along with the rest of the exhibit throughout the year. They're constantly changing, but it's always fantastic. So come by here and check it out. Get some ideas of your own, then pick up the phone and you know where to call. Somebody who's a Tucker Powersports dealer, they can get you parts to build you whatever you want. And then you have fun.